This is going to be a bit of a different video. To celebrate reaching 50,000 subscribers, thanks for all of your support. I want to share with you how origami entered my life and how my origami project developed since I started. So I'm doing a Draw My Life video just about origami. When did it start? I suppose the first time I did origami was somewhere in the late 1980s. I was in kindergarten or perhaps early elementary school, and I have to admit I don't exactly remember. We didn't call it origami either, but probably happyfolding, the German word for paper folding. I do remember 3 models from that time though. The cootie catcher, or a fortune teller, a boat, and a hat, which is actually an intermediary step to the boat. These were models that a lot of the kids around me knew, so I'm guessing it was taught in kindergarten or school. But I didn't learn more, and I didn't think much of it either. It was fun, sure, but lots of things were fun. The second time I came in touch with origami, and the first time it was actually called origami, was when I was staying in the US for 2 years with my grandparents. It's a time I remember very fondly. It must have been the summer of 1992 that I went to summer camp where we did lots of sports and crafts. I loved it. And one of the craft activities that really took me in was origami. We folded different animals from colored paper, and I recall that I was so excited about it that the teacher showed me a book, and it was probably the first time I tried to fold a model from diagrams. Strangely enough, though, I didn't follow up on it. I didn't continue with origami after summer camp. But that fond memory stayed with me. And in September 2005, when I went to the UK to do my Master of Science, origami snuck into my life again. I was attending Freshers' Fair, where all different kinds of university societies had stalls to show new students what was going on outside of coursework. The Oxford Origami Society also had one of those, although I have to admit I was too shy to actually start a conversation with them. Still, I saw the models on display, and it amazed me, and it excited me, and, it just brought back that memory. And while I didn't start folding right away, I did buy an origami book for beginners as a Christmas present for one of my sisters. She's much younger than me, and I figured as I'd enjoyed it so much, maybe she would too. After she received the present, she immediately wanted to fold something, but with me and my other sister. And that's when origami really started for me. I discovered I still liked origami and that diagrams appealed to me too. Origami might have escaped me again, but right after celebrating with my family, I also visited my boyfriend's and now husband's family for Christmas. We went through one of his old bookshelves, and what did we discover? A very old origami book, plus some paper squares. Traveling back to my boyfriend's place meant a long train ride, maybe 5 hours or so. Guess what kept us busy? That book, those sheets, and the kids that loved receiving the models we'd folded from diagrams. After my Christmas break, I went back to Oxford and decided to give that Origami Society a try after all. I'm guessing this was in February 2006. The first model I folded in the society sessions, a Kawasaki rose. And I managed to complete it, and I was immensely proud of myself. The society had some books you could borrow, and so in addition to this more social folding at the meetings, I also started folding in my tiny room. Origami was a great distraction. If I was exhausted and couldn't concentrate properly on my coursework anymore, origami re-energized me, and so it was always a welcome break. And rather than eating time, I think it made me more productive. I'm not quite sure when I started teaching models at the society meetings myself. I'm guessing it must have been during the summer of 2006. Things really took off the following academic year though, where I taught more regularly, worked on my teaching skills, and eventually was elected president of the Oxford Origami Society in summer of 2007. From then on, during term time, I was teaching 1 or 2 sessions a week, usually one with simple models and one with more advanced ones. So lots of teaching. But one thing I discovered was that while the others in our society enjoyed folding together, they mostly didn't do any folding in between sessions. And it turned out one of the main reasons was that they found it so much easier to follow my live instructions rather than reading diagrams from a book. And they enjoyed it more. This is where I started thinking about how I could help them enjoy origami even outside of sessions. Video seemed one obvious choice, so I checked what was available online, but was disappointed by what I found. Only a handful of models were presented, mostly very simple ones, and the quality didn't convince me either. I had a webcam as I was doing video calls with my boyfriend regularly, so I figured I could give it a go myself. See whether I could bring a bit more variety and higher quality instructions to the world of origami videos. And there were a bunch of video platforms out there where I could make the videos available for free. Good for my society members, but also good for others who perhaps didn't have an Origami Society nearby they could join. While I tried out different video platforms at the time, I only have real documentation of stuff that happened on YouTube, because that's where I decided to stick around. So, in June 2007, I created my YouTube account and uploaded my first origami video. Granted, compared to today, the video quality was atrocious, both because of my webcam, the way I positioned it, but also because of my inexperience with doing such videos. But believe me, at the time, it was actually much better than the vast majority of other origami videos out there. In August 2007, I'd reached 50 subscribers, something that really made me happy and which I shared in one of my first vlogs. And by September 2007, I'd uploaded 100 videos, so yes, I was producing lots of material back then. But I suppose I had more time on my hands back then, and importantly, I had to split my videos into multiple videos with a length of no more than 10 minutes. So, for example, my instructions on Robert Lang's Scorpion turned out to be 7 videos instead of just 1. Shortly after, in September 2007, lots of stuff happened origami-wise in that year, I attended my first Origami Convention. It was hosted by the British Origami Society. And I also bought a camcorder because I wanted to have better video quality and figured that documenting the convention would be fun. It was actually the 40th anniversary convention of the British Origami Society, which was held at Cambridge. And I met a lot of other people that did origami. I have to admit I was a bit starstruck, not quite feeling part of the community yet. But I saw amazing folds and more importantly got to meet designers, the people that come up with the models, that publish books, that make their work available. It was absolutely mind-blowing. I did a convention report and also a vlog on my impressions of the convention, which might be fun to watch. It definitely brings back old memories. In October 2007, I then launched happyfolding.com to bring together my origami work. I also joined an origami mailing list, and this is where I believe I really started to become a member of the greater origami community. It's also the time when I was made aware that really I should be asking designers for permission before I present their work in a video. I'd always given proper credits, like stating the name of the model, the designer, and including links to where you could buy the books that included diagrams. But I hadn't actually asked whether it was okay to do this. I hadn't because I hadn't thought it was necessary, hadn't really crossed my mind. But once it had been pointed out to me, I knew that was the right thing to do. So I changed my workflow. Rather than just recording videos, I decided to always ask for permission first. And for the videos that I'd already recorded, I'd ask the designers now. I gave myself a deadline by which I'd remove the videos in case I couldn't reach the designer, or, of course, if they said no. Now, if I looked it up correctly, I removed videos for 10 different models I'd previously presented. But the rest stayed. Plus, some of the videos I actually removed, slightly modified to give more obvious credits in the video, and then re-uploaded. Since then, I've become a great proponent of both giving proper credits and getting permission. In addition to presenting folding instructions, it's actually become a motivator to make aware of the designers, their work, and give them more of the recognition they deserve so much. I think it also reflects in my videos where I take those 1 or 2 minutes in the beginning to mention the designer, perhaps show their book, and just emphasize their role in all of this. Now, in October 2008, I bought the tripod I'm using now. It has a horizontal arm and has made recording much easier. Essentially, since then, the camera has always been straight above my hands. In the beginning, I suspended it from a shelf, so everything was upside down. Later, I got a basic tripod and recorded over my shoulder. But my head often got in the way, and it made recording and editing much more laborious. With my new tripod, that got lots easier. It's one of those purchases I never regretted, even though it was a huge investment for me at the time. And I believe it was one of those purchases that boosted my video quality, just like buying a new camera had. In March 2009, I moved back to Germany, and thus also ended my office as president of the Oxford Origami Society. And by September 2009, I'd reached 3,000 subscribers. In April 2010, 5,000 of you were subscribed, and in December there were even 10,000 of you. Now, shortly before, in October 2010, I became editor of Origami USA's then newly launched online Origami magazine, The Fold. I actually started off by also authoring a series of articles on how I produce my videos. In case you're interested in these and other articles I authored, check out happyfolding.com/articles. In late 2011, I hit my next milestone. My video on Dennis Walker's amazing snowflake hit 1 million views in November. That was pretty amazing. Actually, I continue to be amazed by the reach I have with my videos and the great engagement I get from you. It's really fantastic and keeps me motivated, even in stressful times when time is extra short. By March 2012, I'd uploaded 200 videos. Now, remember how I uploaded the first 100 within 3 months? Well, I suppose the next 100 took a tad bit longer, but as I mentioned, in the beginning I did have to split up videos into multiple videos. Now, in March 2012, I also bought a new camera. I decided it was finally time to go HD. And I reached 20,000 subscribers. By November 2012, even 25,000 subscribers. And a year later, there were 40,000 of you subscribed to me. It's actually quite unbelievable. Which brings us to today, in April 2014, with my channel having 50,000 subscribers. It's been an amazing ride. Since my first convention, I've attended several others. I've found friends online and offline through Origami. I exchange emails, read and respond to your comments, try to connect as much as possible. Lots has changed in my personal life too. I started working full-time, I'm married, I had my first child, and I'm expecting my second one any day now. Yet still, I've always made time for origami. And a big part of that is because I love the energy you give me. When you watch my videos, when you send comments or emails, when you let me know what you like, or of course don't like, when you tell me what my work means to you, or what origami means to you, that's when origami really comes to life for me. So I want to thank you for that, for making origami even more for me than it already was. I thank you for your support, your attention, your feedback, and altogether the positive energy you send me. And I hope you enjoyed this video, which gives you a bit of an insight into how things developed for me. And of course there will be more. So it remains to say stay tuned and, of course, happy folding.